Hit it hard, every day on the move, trying to get it off. Hit it hard, they might think that I'm rude when they hear me talk. Hit it hard, hit them all with a juke, then I grit it off. Hit it hard, gotta stick and keep moving to get it off. Hit it hard, every player in the groove trying to get the ball. Hit it hard, I won't say, but this move got me real off. Hit it hard, I mean off the charts, know I'm the biggest boss. Hit it hard, gotta live it, stay true or you miss it all. Hey, facts over feelings, don't worry about how you feeling. No, we just keep it the realest. Know I'm a warrior, know I can tour with these people. Must teach them with lethal, with wisdom. Locking with decon to chop it and listen. We'll hop on the block, dropping knowledge, uplifting. Lately been popping it off, the topics they want. We're blocking and drop what they missing. I gotta stick to the mission. Roll tide over critics who listen. No time for a biased opinion. Most guys going live for a living. Those types just be trying to survive. Hard times got them starving and living. Game time, always starving to give it. And most times it's on life. Post hype for the vibes. Numbers going up high. Views going up high. Looking down from the sky. Always gotta keep it fly. You know we gotta do it right. You know we gotta keep it righteous. Can't be worried if they like it. Keep on living, make it prime. Work to make it look the nicest. Working daily through the night. The price is tight. Hit it hard. Every day on the move trying to get it off. Hit it hard. They might think that I'm rude when they hear me talk. Hit it hard. Hit them all with a juke, then I grit it off. Hit it hard, gotta stick and keep moving to get it all. Hit it hard, every player.
Good evening, everybody. This is your boy D Cot with a special Cots Corner on the Saturday afternoon. Sunny day out, nice breeze going. A couple things I want to hit today. I'm going to be here for a good time, not a long time. I want to first thank our sponsors, Matt Gaddis and State Farm Insurance. All your insurance needs, life, health, auto, fire, renter's insurance. Matt Gaddis is your guy. 317-894-3865. Second sponsor, Wired to the Nines. Any wireless needs you have in your home, lights, cameras, action, internet, Wired to the Nines is your spot. Then last but not least, Busy Sports Grill. Busy Sports Grill is at 7800 Brookville Road. Sports is heating up here in the city of Indianapolis. You want a nice cold beverage, spend some time with some folks watching sports. Great opportunity to spend some time over at Big Z Sports Grill. They've got dartboards, they've got pool tables, and a lot of good things going on over there. Lita and Matt have. So take your opportunity to get over there and spend some time, enjoy the beverage, and tell them D-Cot sent you. So with that said, I want to make sure I want to mail out what I'm going to be talking about today. A couple things, not much. The baseball, MLB is heating up in a lot of ways. The owners have made a proposal to the players for a salary cap. The owners have made an official proposal to the Players Association. This is the first time of that, something like that being done since 1994. I'm going to get into that. I'm also going to get a little bit into that Western Conference Finals with San Antonio and Oklahoma City that's going to be going on tonight at 8 o'clock. But before I do that, I also want to hit a couple things. I want to hit, there's going to be something going on this weekend at the library downtown for basketball historians, Pacer historians. If you want to spend some time with a person who's got a lot of insight as to Indiana basketball and the history of Indiana basketball, that's my friend Mark Monteith, writer, historian, ex-Pacer beat writer. He's going to be at the Central Library tomorrow, 2 p.m. downtown Indianapolis. It's official that he's going to have Billy Keller on with him, ex-Pacer guard from the 70s. I think Billy was on 2 of those championship teams, if I remember right. He was number 11. He's from Indianapolis, Indiana. Went to Purdue University. For you, those of y'all that are Purdue University lovers, get an opportunity to go out and meet one of the greats from the old times, and that's Billy Keller. Great opportunity to do some meet and greets, probably some autographs, some pictures and that, things like that. So if you have an opportunity, get out there and see my guys out there at 2 p.m. at the Central Library tomorrow downtown in Indianapolis. Wanted to make sure I shared that. So without further ado, we got a Game 7, everybody. It's Game 7, and it's going to be hot. We've got a whole lot going on right now. We've got, San Antonio blowing out Oklahoma City in the last game they played. There's a lot of talk about foul baiting. There's a talk about guys falling on the floor. they're trying to hurt Wemby. Jay Will is not playing in Game 7 tonight. He's got that hamstring issue that limited him to 33 games this past season, and it looks as though he's going to be out for the game. And unfortunately for him, it may be his opportunity to be that difference maker. Oklahoma City has a lot of depth and a lot of talent on their team. Granted, Williams will be missed, but they've got guys that have come up. They played hard, they played well, and they played very aggressive, right? And don't forget, they've got the 2-time MVP on their team as well. There's a lot of talk about Shea and what he does, the histrionics, but you can't argue he's a 2-time MVP. When he gets to that paint, he's going to have those eyes on him from San Antonio and those referees, especially those referees. I know I've seen a lot of memes over the last few days about him falling and even on ESPN, I think Michael Wilbon said if he happens to win another title, there are going to be kids at parks being taught how to flop and throw themselves on the ground. I question that, especially if they're going to be playing on concrete out there practicing in the summer. But most kids don't play on concrete anymore. Most of it's now on wood and all of that like that. But I tell you this, Mike Wilbon had a point. If they go out, win the championship this year, I'm talking about Oklahoma City, and then you're talking about a 2-time MVP, man, that's a lot to bear. That is a lot to bear, and I'm interested to see how people, feel about it and how people handle it. I picked Oklahoma City in 6 at the beginning of the series. They've been physical. They've been very physical. Now, mind you, San Antonio has fought back. They fought back with physicality. And I like that. You give what you get. If the referees aren't going to call it, you do it as well. I don't think it's gotten to the point of where it's dirty or anything like that. It's a hell of a lot more physical than that 82-game regular season that we have. But I don't anticipate there being any crazy histrionics tonight because this is for all the marbles. Now, mind you, there's going to be some guys being separated and all of that. But I don't see anything popping off, so to speak, with regard to guys putting hands on each other with ball fists. I don't see that happening tonight. With too much to lose by the machismo, right? I believe that with Oklahoma City having the home court advantage tonight, 18,000 strong, they're going to probably all color coordinated. Some will be in blue, some will be in white, some will be in whatever the case may be. I think that along with the MVP and the depth of what Oklahoma City has is going to, prove to be just a little bit too much for a San Antonio Spurs team that's fighting, that's fought, that's aggressive, that has a 7'5" unicorn who does things that many haven't seen ever in their lives. Will he come out and play like he played in Game 6? Oftentimes, when you're on the road, you're a young team, you hear it all the time, you haven't been there before, you don't know what it's like and all those things, right? All these guys have played in big games. And they understand what's at stake, right? They know they have an opportunity to take on the New York Knicks, and either team, whoever wins, is going to have the home court advantage, by the way. That's a good thing as well. So you won't have to go far. If you're Oklahoma City, go to your bed tonight and relax and wait until Wednesday. Or if you're San Antonio, you fly out tonight, you land, 2, 3, 4 in the morning in San Antonio. You get in your bed by 5 o'clock a.m. You sleep probably all day Sunday and half the day Monday, and you prepare for the New York Knicks to come into your building on Wednesday as well. So that's going to be fun to see. A lot of people didn't call this. They called, we're looking at, Boston. We're looking at Detroit. Detroit. That's him. I'm the one that said Detroit. But you just don't know what it's going to be. You know what it's going to be like. So it's going to be interesting to see how the first quarter plays out. I believe that, one concern I've got is how will Wemby come out ready to fight when Oklahoma City is going to throw the first punch? I got a comment here. D-Cop, what worries me about Wemby is even though he's 250, I don't know if he's 250 pounds or not. That may be 250 pounds with 10 pounds of pennies in each pocket. But he's very slim, and I don't think a slim body type is going to last down low when he has to face Joker and other big centers during his career. Great point there. Great point. I said it as well too. He's going to have to add some muscle, and also he's going to have to be sure to not get himself on the floor. He's too long to be falling. That's a long fall for a 7'5" guy. Try to stay on your feet, Wemby, because those limbs, they go in different directions, and all of a sudden you put your arm down to brace yourself, and now you've got what? A broken arm, a broken wrist, broken finger, like the concussion earlier in the playoffs. Be careful, Wemby. Stay on your feet. But Anthony Manzano, great point about his durability, right? They're going to have to, in my opinion, they meaning San Antonio, is going to have to look at a bodyguard. A Charles Oakley to Patrick Ewing type, right? A Rick Mahorn to Isaiah type, right? They're going to have to get someone to be that guy. He can't be the guy going back and forth for players. Players are going to try him. They're going to test him all throughout his career. 100%. There's no doubt about that. It's going to happen. My concern is him having to defend himself, right? That's not up for him. Someone else is going to have to come to his defense and ensure that he's taken care of, right? I think that tonight, pivoting back to tonight's game, that first quarter is going to be huge for me. I'm going to be eyeballing it, and I'm going to see, of course, Oklahoma City take the first hit, second hit, probably take third punch as well too. But how does San Antonio, Castle, and all those young players, how do they respond? Do you fight fire with fire? Because listen, there's no game 8. There's no, okay, well, let's get them in the second half. You've got to come out firing on all cylinders. I don't care if you're missing shots. You got to come out firing on all cylinders. And I'm not talking about this manifestation of three-point shooting because of the analytics say it. After there's an open three-point shot, you take the shot. But if you need to get to the cup, draw a foul, put guys in tough spots, you do that. You don't wait for the referees to make the decisions. You make the decisions tonight. If I'm coaching San Antonio tonight, I'm having a conversation really simple. I'm going to show them game 6, the first quarter. I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to let them say a word. You're going to watch we're going an edited version. We're not going to watch commercial and all that. You're going to watch the first 12 minutes, and I'm going to sit there. And then when that tape is over, I'm saying, you see what you did? If you don't do that tonight, you're going to get what they got. And that's a 30-point beatdown. It's up to you. We know you got the talent, San Antonio. We know you got the fight. Castle's been amazing. Those young players been amazing. The number 1 pick, Harper. Harper's been awesome, right? You got young talent there. And they've all seen it. Harper's dad won many championships in Chicago, okay? He knows what it's like. He saw what his dad did. And also, you know what? Well, maybe he did. He didn't see what his dad did too long ago. But I'm sure his dad has told him what he did. And they've had those conversations. So San Antonio, if you come out passive, looking for threes, analytics, not getting the ball to your best player, putting other guys in peril and putting them in foul trouble, you're going to get ran out of the building. Don't worry about that noise. My Pacers took care of that noise last year. And they didn't have a 7'5" unicorn. And yes, they would have won that game 7 had my guy, TH, not fallen to an Achilles injury. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I believe, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. So don't worry about that crowd, San Antonio. You got to worry about those 5 guys on the floor. Don't worry about those officials. And I heard who's officiating tonight. We've got the extender is refereeing tonight. And I want to say, I can't remember the other referee's name. Black dude who's been who Jeff Teague has some words about in his 520 podcast early on. So with that said, I don't believe that San Antonio is going to go in there scared. I believe they're going to go in there ready to fight. I think they're going to give them their best punch. Let's see what happens at the 12-minute mark. Anthony says, to me, on how smart the head coach is in Oklahoma City, I think he's going to find a way to shut down Victor and force the other players, the San Antonio team, to beat them. I'm not opposed to that because those other players on San Antonio's team have shown their ability to make a difference. Wemby hasn't had 6 great games, y'all. Let's be clear. He hasn't had 6 great games. And other guys have stepped up, right? And if those guys have to step up tonight, make that happen. Just like the flip side is if you take those things away from Shea. If you guard Shea 40 feet away from the basket, face guard. If you're putting him in a tough position, not letting him get the ball easy, getting it late in the shot clock where he has to make a move, not do the old pump fake, head fake, and dive into you. That can be the counter to them, Anthony, talking about that situation with Wemby. Because we've seen the players on San Antonio's team in this series bring their hard hats, bring their lunch pails, and play ball. We've also seen that on the Oklahoma City side. But you saw that game 6. That young man looked defeated. That young man, meaning Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, looked defeated. And he was on the bench talking to Williams saying, hey, you're not playing that next game. Because he only played 10 minutes in game 6, Williams, that is. They knew he wasn't going to play in game 7. What do you have? What do you have? What do you bring to the table? Anthony, I love the disagreements because that's what we do, and I appreciate it. I trust the depth in OKC as well. We talked about it, right? Oklahoma City has continually played 10 guys. That's unheard of in NBA playoff basketball. But are the lights going to be too bright for San Antonio's young players, or you're at home, you're comfortable, and all of a sudden San Antonio's up by 6 at the end of the first quarter? How do those others play in Oklahoma City? I'm going to get to you on the Jaylen Brown deal. That's my guy, Anthony. I'm a big proponent of Jaylen Brown. And with that said, I would say this. Those young players from Oklahoma City who are playing a bigger part in their season this year than last, Lou Dort isn't playing nearly as much because he's been shut down. Lou Dort's game is old. The kid that they got from Philadelphia is getting a lot of those minutes. Now, mind you, he's a second-year player. Second-year player. Question is, how will he respond if he's got the ball in his hand and it's 3 seconds to go on the shot clock? That's going to be something to see because San Antonio's got a lot of long players in that 6'4" to 6'8" range, right? That can impact them. So the bright light's going to be there for that. McCain, that's his name, McCain. We'll see how he plays as well, too. It's going to be fun to watch. As I've said to everybody, I've got, a rooting interest for San Antonio, not because I'm a San Antonio fan, but for 2 reasons. One, the biggest reason, I got them at plus 4,500 back in December. And that's going to be a nice little get if they win the title. Second part is they're one of 4 teams that came from the ABA to the NBA. San Antonio, New Jersey, the Pacers, and the Denver Rockets. Well, it was the Rockets back then. They had to change their name to the Nuggets because they had a Houston Rockets team. So I'm always going to be a proponent for those ABA teams to do well. But I'm not a San Antonio fan. I want a good game. I want a game where there's not a lot of controversy. And I want yeah, absolutely, Anthony. I need my big return. I'm rubbing my hand together. I need that love. But it's going to be fun to see. And again, and if San Antonio does lose, it's okay because I got a futures bet on the Knicks as well. So the best money was everybody but Oklahoma City. They was minus, and everybody else was plus. So I got me a lot of plus involved, but it's not as much plus money for New York as it would be for San Antonio. So Anthony, wish me well on that, right? For sure. But I'm gonna piggyback to Jaylen Brown. Here are my thoughts, and I'm not sure, Anthony, what you've I see a lot of comments you've had and everything, but I'm a big proponent of Jaylen Brown. He's a two-way player. At the end of the last season, when Tatum went down, and the talk was, hey, he's going to be out for the rest of the upcoming season. Boston's going to be a 5 or 6 seed maybe, and I said no. They've got Jaylen Brown, and I've always said this, and I've felt this. I believe that Jaylen Brown is the best player that Boston has. You can argue with me all you want. What I'm saying is Jaylen Brown gets the basket. He defends. He's a smart guy. And what he did for that team, carrying especially the first couple of months when Pritchard was struggling and those players are struggling to find their roles, Jaylen Brown, he was flirting with 50, 40, 90 all season. That's 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the line, right? So I'm just going to say this. Jaylen Brown is who he is. He said a lot of, things of late, talking about, Stephen A. and all of this, things like that, and I see you saying he complains about SGA. I think, a lot of these guys are hypocritical, Anthony, because if coaches are coaching to sell the call, you can't complain. Everybody's selling. I've seen Jaylen Brown flop as well. I've seen pretty much every player in the league flop. I don't like it. There's a rule in place, Anthony, and I don't know if you've been following the show or not. If you haven't, please like and subscribe and tell your friends about it. Really good stuff. There's a rule. There's a flopping rule in place. And Anthony, this past regular season, only 84 times the flopping rule was called against a player. 84 times. Over 2,000 games were played, and only it was called 84 times. Now, that's hypocritical. The second part of that is the unnatural act. That is a rule as well. And I don't know how many times that was called, but it was a hell of a lot less than the flopping call. The unnatural act, right? Throwing the head back, swinging your arms, and all those things. Those are unnatural basketball acts that aren't being called. I just want those things to be called. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. If those things are called, that's real basketball. I know I'm an old head. I'm not a young head. But you young heads haven't seen good basketball. All you've seen is this. All you've seen is guys throwing their head back, snapping their head back. And I don't want to see your documentary talk. No, you had to see it live. And if you didn't see it live, just sit on the sidelines and listen to us old heads school you a little bit. They all been flopping. But I'm not going to go back to 1996. Oh, Reggie Miller flopped. This is 2026. If you want to talk about Reggie Miller and flopping and the players in the 90s, grab your podcast, get on the show, and get your 3 viewers on there, and y'all have fun at it. Because this is 2026. That was well over 30 years ago. We got to talk about the present. And the present is there is a rule in place now because it's so prevalent in the flopping. Just like players sitting out with the 65 game rule. That's there. And it's there for a reason. It's there because players weren't playing, coaches were holding guys out, and a lot of folks put a lot of money into these organizations, spending money when their favorite player wasn't playing. Now, for me, I'm a little different. I don't care who plays against my Pacers. I'm going to go down to the game, and I don't care who on the opposing team doesn't play. Doesn't matter. I'm there for a win. I'm not there to see the opposing team. I'm there for two reasons. I'm there to have a great time with my boy Reggie and all the people we know at the stadium. And the second part of that is to enjoy the game after having a win. That's it. I don't care who plays on the opposite team. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't care if it was the Washington Generals. If the Pacers went 41-0 at home because they played the Washington Generals, sign me up. So I'll leave it at that. But but back to Brown really quick. Brown has really been vocal this offseason, much more vocal than I would have expected. I'm not sure if he's trying to make moves to say, get me out of Boston. I don't know if he's really feeling that. I don't know if it's calculated, but he's been very aggressive towards Stephen A. Smith, and that's fine. Not a big fan of Stephen A. Smith anyway. I don't like the herky jerky, all that extra stuff like that. Just call it like it is, man. You're making a whole lot of money. Just impact the game with regard to your reporting and not personalize it so much. Right. That's my thought on that. Right. So with that said, with the Knicks. The Knicks, have shown to me to be the best team in the East. I had Detroit all season long, and I think it's been well chronicled. I am not a Knicks fan. I hate the Knicks. As a Pacer fan over the last 20 years, yeah, we kicked their butts for the last 20 years. I don't care. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. But boy, oh boy, I love me some Mike Brown. That dude has gone through the fires. He's gone through all the naysayers when they were down 2-1 against Atlanta. I've chronicled that on other Cots Corners. And I'm just going to say this. Mike Brown has shown why that Tibbs was let go and he was brought in. He's expanded his roster, the rotation. Landry Shannon has been a killer. Deuce McBride has been awesome. And the other thing is, the biggest thing is, you see this? Pounding the ball. That's all Brunson did last year against the Pacers. He and Cat averaged, I think, 73 points combined in that series last year. And I loved it because that meant the ball wasn't moving. It was in Brunson's hand. He's trying to do things himself. Now, I think they're averaging, don't quote me, but I think they're averaging that 50 range right now together. And that's been a big difference. The ball is moving. Other guys have gotten involved. And those Knicks are here for real. They're not a joke. And I don't care who wins it. It ain't going to be no sweep. The Knicks are here to fight. They've got size. They've got defensive capabilities. Brunson is playing at a high level, getting rid of the ball, not snapping his head back with the braids. That's all a part of that, too. Got the braids. It makes it look even worse, right? And I don't care who's been talking about Cat. Oh, Karl Anthony Towns, he's this, he's zesty, he's this. I said from the beginning of the year and even last year, I'll take Karl Anthony Towns on my Pacers right there all day long and twice on Sunday. Give me a big man who can score mid 20 points, double-digit rebounds, and look how he's playing defense this playoffs. He's motivated. I'll take him all day. You want to make clowns and make memes about Karl Anthony Towns and all that stuff, fine. On the basketball court, I'll take him. Minnesota, yeah, you made a mistake. Can't get him back now. So that's my 2 cents with regard to the Knicks, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and the 7, right? And you're right. Cats flops as well, too. You're right. I mean, this isn't limited to SGA, Anthony. It's not. It's universal. There's a reason why there's a rule in place for that. So I want to make sure I shared that, and I want to cover this big game tonight at 8 o'clock. It's important. It's a big game, and a lot of people are going to be having a lot of vested interest in who wins tonight, one way or the other. But the other thing I want to talk about was MLB owners making an official offer to the Players Association, MLB. All 30 owners got together. We want to offer up a salary cap. That hasn't been done since the 1994 season, and we know what happened then. Your World Series. I wish I had got my sound effect here. The sound effect for the World Series was, yeah. So now they proposed a salary cap. And a lot of folks that get on here, oh man, they need a salary cap, blah, 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 blah. I said, since day one, if you're going to ask for a salary cap, you better get a floor as well. You're talking about the best union in all professional sports in the United States, period. It's a Major League Baseball union, Players Association. They canceled the World Series. Every time there's been talk about going with a salary cap, they said, hold my beer. No, we're not having it. We're going to sign 13 years, $600 million deals, and you're going to like it. No one's forcing these owners to sign that, to agree to that. And granted, we're not talking about collusion. We don't want collusion. But they're signing these players. Why? Because the money is there. So what Major League Baseball owners did, they offered up a $245 million cap, salary top 0.3 cap, and a floor. They were listening to me, of $171 million. That's for all 30 teams. Your floor is 171. Your cap is 245. That's on your 30 players. That's on your roster. On your 30 teams, I'm sorry. Your roster, I think, is 26 or 28, 27 maybe. So what they said was, enough's enough. We've got these long contracts that are 10, 12, 11, 12, 13 years. We need to reel it in. And I said on this show some months ago, I said, you got the best union, so you can't come weak. You better come with something other than a handshake and a nod. So the owner said, here's our cap talk. We'll let all contracts still continue to be guaranteed, not like the NFL. All guaranteed still, all guaranteed. Also, we're going to throw in a 50-50 revenue split. If y'all remember my baseball show, I posted it on some of the networks this past week. The 50-50 revenue split. That's the big thing. Right now, there is no current fixed rate for the players on the revenue share. It's not. Because of the salary cap non-existence. There is no cap. So they said, listen, we're not sharing all this if you all are unlimited. So we want to bring some of that back, but we want to give you a little something back. Right? Now you're looking at teams who've been well over that $245 million. But here's the thing what I tell people all the time. Don't get so mad at the Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, these other teams. I'm gonna pull it up on my screen. I think when I pull my screen up, I think I do freeze, but I want to share a little bit with y'all because I've been saying this for the longest. I said, listen, there are teams that have been well under any type of potential threshold, any type of potential floor. But we don't talk about that. All we see is Aaron Judge going to be potentially signing a 10-year, $750 million deal. That's too much money for that guy. He's not worth it. Get off my lawn. If he ain't worth it, why is he getting that money? Somebody's paying it. The money's coming from somewhere. And if they're not paying the players, you're talking about a bunch of billionaire owners going towards trillionaires. We want to knock these players. Oh, they're getting paid too much. Oh, they need a cap. What about the owners? They're paying this money out. They're paying the money out. And then those owners that are not paying out, shame on you. Shame on you for not doing the right thing by your city. Still, I guarantee you, a beer in Kansas City is the same price or very close to other markets. But yet, you don't have the type of roster and the payroll that says we're going to compete. But that $12 beer is still a $12 beer. That hot dog for $7 is still a $7 hot dog. And then you've got these gourmet things, these organizations. They got the chicken, they got the meals and all that stuff like that. You go to a game, a family of four go to a game, you ain't coming out less than $200. And I ain't talking about tickets. I'm talking about just food and entertainment, especially if you got little ones. So I don't have any pity for those folks, those small market teams that are still charging those fans the right that amount of money to come and see a team that's not going to compete. Right? It's not right. You know, Anthony says, but let's be honest, the teams that you feel you're going to be on focus on, they can't really afford to be in that market, like you're saying, like a Tampa or Angels consistently. I'm going to pull this up, and here's what I'm talking about, Anthony. I'm not saying these teams have to pay $300 million salaries throughout their team. I'm not saying that. But just like the NBA, and again, I'm not talking about officiating or anything. I'm talking about the NBA and how it's met. You've got opportunity for small market teams to be successful. Oh, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Pacers, small market teams having the ability to be successful and compete with the big boys because of revenue sharing, because of cap structure. Also, there's limits on the years that a player can sign a contract. It's 5 years. Remember y'all back in the day it was 7? They've signed a 7-year deal. I remember Jermaine O'Neal signed a 7-year deal with the Pacers. Now it's 5. That's your max. Those are things that keep things tied in. But you don't have to sign a 5-year deal. You can sign a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal with a player option for the second year. Those things are in place. And I'm not saying baseball should do that. What I'm saying is basketball has a niche, right, that says we're going to have big markets and small markets have an opportunity to be successful. Look at football. Very similar. Now, the difference in football, no guaranteed contracts. You're fighting for your life. There's no flopping. There's no pain management. No, none of that. Guys got to play if they're hurt or not because they know they get their job taken and they're done because their contract's not guaranteed. But what I'm saying with that, I'm going to share this. Again, I think my screen is going to freeze, but if it does, so be it. I can speak to it anyway. You can still hear it. And what I'm sharing is this. If the cap goes into play, you're looking at right now 8 teams would have to cut payroll. That is the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, Toronto, Boston, San Antonio, and Atlanta. That's 8. Now, 12 teams would have to. Miami, $81 million salaries. You know, my man, John Carlos for Mets, he's making $60 million a year. And you got Miami at $81 million. I'm not buying it, owners. Cleveland, $95 million. Tampa Bay, $108 million. White Sox, $108. They're the big market. They're the 3rd largest market in the United States. Cleveland. Washington. No, I'm talking about DC, big market. Pittsburgh, small market. Milwaukee, small market. Athletics, small market. Colorado, small market. Cincinnati, small market. You know who you don't see here? Kansas City Royals. They were notorious for never spending. So all I'm saying is this. We're going to take a little bit of this money at the bottom here, bringing yourselves on up. You don't have to be, if you're Miami, you don't have to go from 81 million to 300 million. But it's a slap in your fans' face for you in Miami, big market. Miami is Miami Beach. And you're only paying $81 million for your roster? Yeah, I know Miami is not a baseball town. No, Tampa Bay isn't either. But you're there. And you got the money. And it's going somewhere. So all I'm saying is bring that floor up to that point, like we talked about, 171 million. So 171 million, these 12 teams are below the floor. Get to the floor. You'll look to see things evening out. Don't complain about the Dodgers and what they're doing. They're only spending money, but he's making money because he's got those Japanese players and their reach is all across the water. They're making money hand over fist with a $379 million payroll. Sorry, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. I appreciate it. I love it. I got nothing but love for him. But all I'm saying is there's a lot of things in place that are talking about this MLB, and then with the owners coming out this past week with an official offer. Oh, that was awesome. Loved it to death, because now you're talking. And I don't think that the players are going to go silently. I think there's a fact. Now, mind you, in 1994, this union was as solid and with solidarity as anybody could have. Now, granted, a lot of young guys in there now, you're reading your press clippings and you're not as together. You're just not. It's like family. Families aren't as strong together in 2026 as they were in 1994. But they're still the best union, and there's going to be a lot of sacrifices that those owners are going to have to make. There's a lot of smart people in the Players Association, a lot of smart guys that play baseball that understand the big picture. Anthony, do you agree that all of this deferred payments BS the Dodgers are getting away with? You know what? It's within the rules, Anthony, and it's deferred because of the fact they know over time that money's coming in. I'm not a big fan of it as a fan, because I want those guys to get their money and get gone. I don't want the Bobby Bonilla thing continuing. I mean, think about Bobby Bonilla's been gone from playing baseball for over 20 years, and he's still getting paid by the Mets. I'm not a fan of that. But if it's negotiated within your deal, have at it. Maybe there may be some things that they put in place to take those deferred things away, which could help. So, like what he's talking about is Ohtani has, I want to say, a third of his money is being deferred. Ohtani's going to be paid till he's about 70. Talking about generational wealth, maybe not 70, but he's going to be old. And generational wealth, that's where it is. I just said that. Yeah, Anthony and I are right on the same page. We got to connect, Anthony. I just said that. Bobby Bonilla. That's it. I don't like that. I want you to get it in and be done with it, right? But with all that said, though, the players still hold the power. The owners came to them and said, "Listen, please help us out. We don't want to lock y'all out." I'm gonna tell you this: 2/3 of those players in that association said, "Lock us out." Y'all did that before. Hello, 1994. Goodbye, World Series. Those y'all that are old enough to remember, that was the Montreal Expos and the New York Yankees. Those two teams had the best season in the East and in the West. In the AL and NL. We didn't get to see it. And I'm gonna tell you this: that union is still strong enough to this day to say, "Nah, we ain't having it." If they're going to go to a salary cap with a floor, the owners are going to have to do better. Like I tell my people I work with, no one gives you the best offer up top. This ain't the best offer they could give. 245 and 171 with 50% revenue sharing, and it's not a fixed rate, and all guarantees contracts are still there. No, that ain't your best owners. Come with more. Come see me. These players, they are in solidarity, right? And they say, okay, lock us out. They got a year jump on this thing. I promise you. If, in fact, there is a salary cap, mark the tape, clip this. D-Cot is telling you there's going to be sacrifice, owners. Real sacrifice and real pain. And that's on both sides. But if I'm a player, would I be willing to listen to a salary cap with a floor, with a required dollar amount being paid towards our roster? Absolutely. Absolutely. But we're not going away whimpering. We're not going away because you all said it. Because everybody, they need a cap. They need a cap. I don't see anybody talking about they need a floor. They need a floor more than they need a cap. I just showed you. It's 12 teams. It's 12. My drink there. Sorry about that. It's 12 teams beneath the floor. 12. It's 30 teams in the league. That's more than a third of the teams are beneath the floor. So talk to those guys. Yeah, I know there's a need for a cap, but talk to them too. This is a two-part story. This isn't a one-part story. So keep that in mind, those of y'all that are screaming cap, 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 cap. And I'm not talking about cap as in BS. I'm talking about salary cap. You know, and it's funny, Anthony says, I believe it's too late putting toothpaste back in the tube, offering a solid cap when these owners allow these players to have the amount of free freedom with these massive contracts. She's exactly right. No one's holding a gun to any owner's head and say, you better pay this guy. They know from a competitive perspective, and these owners are competitive, some of them are, I want to win. The George Steiner, there's not many George Steinbrenners out there anymore, but that owner in Los Angeles, yeah, he's a new version of George Steinbrenner. Pay it. The problem is you got those 12 teams that are not paying it, and that's the problem. You got hometown heroes that want to play for their city. Kansas City, if it's Cleveland, if it's Cincinnati, et cetera, et cetera. But they know they're not going to get the money that they can get in New York market, in the LA market, and the Chicago market potentially, and in some of the other markets, Anaheim Angels, right? Texas Rangers, right? Houston Astros, right? So Milwaukee wasn't on there as well either. So all I'm saying is they've got to come to it, and something's going to have to give. If it doesn't give, there's going to be a lot of frustrated people who feel, I know they're going to lock them out and the players are going to fold. Anybody who says that the MLB Players Association is going to fold, I promise you, and come see me, you can come on Cots Corner. If you're saying they're going to fold, you wasn't alive in 1994. You wasn't alive. Clip this. Because here's the deal. That unit has been solid for years, decades. They're not going to lay down and let the owner scratch them on their belly. No. It don't happen like that in baseball. This ain't the NFL where everybody's scared and I'm proud to be in the league. It's an honor and a privilege. Work your ass off from you were 5 years old to you're 18, but you're privileged. No, that's hard work, right? So no, we're not falling for the subjective. I'm just honored to be a Major League Baseball player. No. I'm getting mine too. It's hard out there. Guys are in the minor leagues for years, getting themselves up and running. And riding in Greyhound buses and playing in front of 2,000 fans, staying at lower end hotel, not the 5 stars that many that they stay in now. No. So no, all I'm saying is this: these players have earned this, and if you think that they're going to just roll over on their belly, shocking. D-Cop, for me, I feel the most stable union in sports is not basketball or football, but baseball. Absolutely. 100%. It ain't even close, y'all. How many times you see NFL? It's an honor and privilege for me to go out there and play. Guy wraps his leg up. He's got a broken leg. He's got to get a shot. He's out there concussed. Well, he's got to come back next week because he knows the best ability is availability. And in the NFL, if you ain't available, they just cut you. You got your signing bonus. Adios, amigos. Not right. And this ain't that. Baseball is going to be on point. I look forward to watching these negotiations. We're going to have more conversation about that on the Game Time Network, especially on Cots Corner. I want to talk about ABS as well. And Anthony, I've got some real stuff on ABS that I would love to talk about. I'm not going to do it on this show, but I've got some thoughts on ABS and players challenging pitches. I think it's important for it to be right, but I'm not 100% sold that ABS is the answer. I like the pitch clock. I like the batter's clock. I do like that, speeding the game up. I like that. Batting averages are down across the league. Not sure why. There's a little bit of talk about that. I'm going to tie into that a little bit as well, too. But baseball is an important time right now. After this, this finals, we're in baseball eccentric. We're in baseball now through August. Now, mind you, training camp start in mid-July, NFL, and we get going in college football. But there's going to be a whole lot of talk from the Game Time Network with regard to baseball, ABS, salary cap, salary floor, pitch clock, batter's clock, Batting average is down. Why? What's going on there? And it's going to be a lot there. So I'm going to be tying in a little bit more to the baseball piece. Yes, I love basketball, but I don't love the histrionics that basketball brings today. And with this series coming up, the game tonight, and then the series starting on Wednesday, there's not going to be a lot to talk about between midnight tonight and Wednesday, June the 3rd. So we got to find something else to talk about. And I think nothing like talking about some baseball. It's no longer America's pastime. Gotcha. That's NFL. Gotcha. Fair enough. But it's still good enough, and there's a lot to be talked about because everybody's got an opinion. Salary cap. I just chronicled to you. You need a floor before you need a cap. Owners got to pay the money. There's a lot of guys from small market teams in cities that would love to play for their home team, but they just can't. Not because they don't have money. The owners aren't ponying up. I'm in Indianapolis, small market. One thing about Jim Irsay, not a fan of Jim Irsay, by the way. Rest his soul. He paid his players, and he did everything he could to give everything that the players of the Indianapolis Colts had that anybody else's team had. He had long arms, and his pockets were very deep. But he did make a point to take care of his players. And you got to do that. You got to take care of your players. DK, I believe the two most popular sports events in the U.S. will be next 20 years will be going to be football and soccer. I disagree on the soccer piece, but I do agree with the football. I'm talking about American football, not European football. But I'm with you, though. I'm with you. Soccer from a United States perspective, I see soccer fields everywhere. I'm out here on the Far East Side in New Palestine. There's a whole lot of soccer fields out here. It's just not resonating to middle school, to high school, to college. I'm not seeing it. I mean, I would love to see it grow because there'd be more income and all those things. But for me, I just don't see it. But that could be that could be a conversation as well too down the road, right? So I would love to have that conversation as well. But there's going to be more to come with regard to soccer, NFL, college football, NIL. Oh, that's I got some stuff for NIL for you. Man, we're talking about people are mad at the SEC, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's talking about the SEC. I thought the SEC wasn't that big of a deal. I thought the Big Ten was a big deal. But everybody's focusing on the SEC. They don't have the most teams. They got 16 the SEC. Big Ten's got 18. Why are you worried about the SEC? Is that an inferiority complex? Or are you just mad because you want to be mad? There's a lot to be had out of that too. A lot to unpack with regard to NIL. But I'm going to say this. I love that the players are getting paid. But I'm just saying, it ain't sustainable, y'all. These schools are just paying. And I'm not talking collusion, but it needs to be some form of collective bargaining with these players from a contractual perspective. And I'm absolutely fine for a cap for college players. I'm not saying a cap of $2,000 a year. No. They got to get some legitimate money because the money's coming from somewhere from these schools. It ain't falling out of trees. So, but I would be more supportive of a salary cap in the college ranks than I would be from the MLB ranks. Have a collective bargaining tool. Let these players continue to get representation. If it's regionally, if it's conference wise, or if it's university wise, they need representation. And again, I'm not gonna say they don't need $10 million a year, but yeah, they do because if they can get it, they need it. But if there's a line of demarcation where this can work to be a sustainable process, we need that. But stop calling them kids. They're not kids. You only call them kids because you want to try to minimize what they're doing. They're not kids. They're young adults who are smart enough to realize I'm going to leverage myself. And you're right. There's a lot of them who haven't, who bet on themselves and they lost. That's called life. That's tough for those young adults. But that's a lesson that they're going to learn and hopefully that they take with them and they move forward. So we're going to talk NIL. We're going to talk soccer. We're going to talk MLB. The month of June, also, by the way, my birthday. So we're going to have some fun Father's Day. That's going to be good as well, too. But we're going to have a lot of NIL talk, breaking things down, seeing what's best. I'll maybe have a guest or two on that has some experience in that. And hopefully it works out to the greater good because that's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a huge deal, right? And I look forward to that. And I absolutely look forward to that. And I hope people are following and watching, right? This is going to be fun. June is going to be fun. They said it's dead time. And June is dead time. You only got, one series of basketball and they're playing every every 2 days. I think every 2 days what they're paying now, if I remember right. That's okay. We're going to have enough to talk about. We're going to have enough to communicate about. We're going to have enough to entertain folks. I'll tell you this, Anthony. On the you want to see MLB Players Association counter with an international draft to eliminate international free agency and post. Oh, absolutely. It can't go highest bidder. No. We need a draft. You can't come because what's happening is, your New York Yankees, your Mets, your Dodgers, your Anaheim Angels. Though that's where the Japanese players are going. The second best league is the Japanese leagues. Yeah, you're right. 100%. You got to have a full draft, not just, we can pick where we want to go. No. Well, if this is Major League Baseball, it's a United States product, they've got to succumb to the United States process. I'm with you 100% on that. Let's see, because the cause and complaint that you hear these high schools and college kids have it unfair, that these international kids are getting paid more than them. Yeah, they are. I think it's pay for play. You pay for the best talent. But I think it could start with that draft. I think it would start with that draft 100%. You get an international draft in there, and what's best is best. Now, here's the caveat. You know what they do in the Canadian Football League? There's a level amount of roster spots for all Canadian players. Is that something we want in the United States? MLB, NBA, and NFL. Well, not so much NFL because, that's mostly of an American piece. But NBA and MLB, is it time to get a quota for our players? Right now, in the NBA, 30% of the players are international. So that means 3 out of every 10. There's 15 players in the roster. So you're looking about roughly, each team roughly has about 4 international players on the team. Is there time for a cap? When I say cap, I mean, is there time for a cap on the number of players that must be United States grown? Remember when you were a kid and how big these two street court tournaments were on the West Coast in LA in the Rucker Park? Yeah. And don't see anything. You're right. I speak about a park here in Indianapolis called West Montgomery Park on the east side of Indianapolis. Talk about hoopers. That place was full of hoopers in the summertime. You couldn't get on the court. If you get on the court, you better go at it because, guys like Gerald Lewis and guys from Arlington High School out there, Clyde Posley, Jerome Brewer, many other guys like that. Those guys were hoopers, right? So we don't see it anymore because everything's now pay for play, AAU world. So that's what I see right there. This has been a good Cots Corner, y'all. And Anthony, I love the fact that you've been engaging with me. That is awesome, man. That means a lot. It's money. I appreciate it. Cots Corner is banging. Had a lot of good stuff going on. Got my song in the background there. But I want to share this. There's a strong chance, about 90% chance, I'm going to have a surprise guest on Sunday night. I'm not going to say who it is. Me and this person have been talking for the last almost a year now about getting on and doing some things, and it's starting to finally realize, you know who you are, and I'm going to send you this clip so you can put some pressure on you for tomorrow night. But just a hint. That person has Indiana ties. That person is a hoops junkie. That person is a father. That person is an awesome human being. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We've got a lot of emotional stuff to talk about as parents. He and I have had some great conversations about our sons. I'm looking forward to this. I'll know more probably tonight, early tomorrow. But I look forward to it. It's gonna be off the charts. We're gonna hit everything from basketball to fatherhood to Father's Day coming up, and many things in between. NBA playoffs and that type of things, even some football pieces as well. So this is your boy D. Cots. This has been an absolute joy to be on today, sharing this information with regard to baseball, regarding NBA game 7 tonight. I am picking Oklahoma City again. I picked them in 6. I'm gonna pick them in 7. But boy, oh boy, if in fact San Antonio comes out and punches back, they're not gonna throw the first. But if they do throw the first, ooh, look out there. But I need you, San Antonio. Come with some fight. Bring in your inner Coach Popovich. Be ready. Be ready. Anthony, I appreciate you being a part of the show. Angel, I see you. Much love, Angel. One of my favorite human beings of all time. This has been your boy, Cots Corner. Enjoy, subscribe, follow us. We got a lot of great content. We got great sponsors. Gaddis, Lita and Mac at Bigsy Sports Grill, Wire to the Nines. We're working on some other things as well. We're looking to have some fun, enjoying what we do, and bringing a holistic approach to sports where we're just a bunch of nobody. Me, Isaiah, and Ramon, we're just nobodies. We're just having some fun talking about sports, and we do our homework. So that's the other thing. We do our homework. We don't sit around and just babble for no reason. We're talking about some good things. We don't always agree, and you all don't always agree as well either. And I'm okay with that. It's facts over feelings. From Daryl Key Cop. Facts over feelings. All day and twice on Sunday. Again, this is your boy D Cop. Thanks for love. Thanks for the support. And I'm hoping tomorrow. I can feel it. I can feel it. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. That's my plan. 6 p.m. Eastern. That's some good conversation. It's going to be an hour show. Me and this person, we get on the phone. I look up. It's been an hour and a half, and I don't even feel it. I don't even feel that way. So just know it's going to be there for sure. So again, I'm your boy D-Cot. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for watching Cots Corner, engaging. Anthony, be safe. Angel, be safe. I know Corey wasn't on today. He's probably doing some other things, but everybody be safe. Look at the show. Like, subscribe. Love your mom. Love your dad. And appreciate everything you have. It's your boy D-Cot.